Hello. In this video, we're going to talk about the block piles near higher spawn Cookie Town. I like that. The block piles. We love block piles, right? So as you can see, I spawned right here, right? And so really, this is the first stack, right? Because obviously we're right next to higher spawn. This is the stack. So let's talk about this stack. Oh, it consists of pistons and bookshelves, and obviously you can hide as a piston. Right? You could sometimes find a piston in this slot, or if you ever see 3 pistons in a row like this, that's fake. Or if you see 3 pistons in a row like this, that's fake. Right? Obviously it's not even facing the same direction. I don't even think it orients itself correctly. So. Alright, for the bookshelves, we have a cube of bookshelves with a bookshelf on top of the cube. Again, you can see bookshelves in either one of those 3 spots that I just showed you, right? Either right here, or right here. Either one of those 3 spots is possible. And as for the top of the bookshelf stack, oh, if you ever see 2 bookshelves on top of the stack, then it's fake. Right, going over here we have these hay bales. Now we have 2 hay bale stacks, basically. Right, those 2, right? And they're really similar to each other, but there's only one difference between them. It's the fact that this one has a square, and this one doesn't have a square, right? If we want to recreate this stack over here, all we got to do is put a fake hay bale right here, as you can see. So that's how you can memorize those stacks. In fact, this is actually a really common structure, as you probably already know, right? This is a really common structure that you'll see in block hunt. So really, you see a hay bale right here specifically, right? It forms a square of hay bales, so it's fake in this case. But over here, there's a square of hay bales, so it's real. Right? Sometimes you'll find 2 hay bales on top of the stack. Sometimes you're going to find a hay bale right next to the stack like that. Right? Some other deviations from what we have here, other than this, includes if you have, the central hay bale surrounded by 3 hay bales. Right? Something like that, or something like that is possible. That's basically it for the hay bale stacks. Now we're going to talk about each of these tents. Right? Starting with this tent, we have bookshelves. The most common spot is to see a bookshelf in this hole right here. That's basically it. Going to here, we have TNTs and 2 hay bales on either side. Now, as for the 2 hay bales on either side, you can see a hay bale either right here or right here, right? You can never see more than 2 hay bales, basically. So something like that would be fine. You can easily replace those spots with TNT, so keep that in mind. A TNT can be in either one of these 2 spots. Right? As for the TNTs in the front of the stack, there should never be a TNT directly touching a hay bale. So something like that would be fake, and something like that would be fake. You should never see 2 TNTs on top of the stack, but notice it sort of forms a square, so it's squared off, right? So there's a square of TNT, as you can see. Also, if there's a TNT right here, there's a square of TNT. So you see it's squared off, right? That would be fake. I like that, that was good. Alright, so now we go to our next tent. If you ever see 3 flower pots, for instance, a flower pot right here, then that would be fake. That's really all you have to know. There's nothing else inside this stack. The melon stack is actually a pretty important stack to know about, right? Many times you're going to find a melon hiding right here. So you should just memorize that, right? I like that. Let's memorize it. Sometimes you'll find a melon blocking your ability to see if there's a melon in this spot, right? So if you see a melon right here, it's fake, right? 4 in a row is fake. But also if you see a melon right here, right? Another way to look at it, notice how it sort of forms a 3 diagonal, 2 diagonal, and then 1 on top, right? This specific structure, right? This would be a fake melon. Notice you have a staircase of melons, so you're actually able to go up this staircase onto this tent. Well, if you see anything blocking your ability to do that, for instance, a square of melons like this, then it would be fake. And that's basically it for the melon stack. We already talked about the hay bales. As for the cakes, it's really similar to the flower pots, right? If you see 3 flower pots, it's fake. Same thing over here, if you see 3 cakes, for instance like this, then it's fake. Now, you could see any block at all in this spot, right? For instance, a furnace, a cauldron, an anvil, any block at all in this spot. Flower pots, right? This would be fake if you see a block right here. That's basically it. As for the pistons, if you ever see more than 5 pistons, for instance like this, that would be fake. Sometimes you see that for some reason. Right? As for the anvils, again, there should be nothing inside this tent. So if you ever see like an anvil inside the tent like this, then that would be fake. And the other spot you'll tend to sometimes see is actually 2 anvils in a row like this. So something like that would be fake. And that's basically all of the hiding spots surrounding higher spawn. I guess some other spots I should mention is that you can sometimes see a bookshelf over here. If you ever see 3 bookshelves in a row, then it's fake, right? Alright, now coming from Hunter Spawn, which is over there, you approach it from this point of view. So sometimes you see basically 2 bookshelves on top of each other. As you approach the stack, you know that this has to be a fake bookshelf, so just memorize that. Another thing you'll sometimes see is a bookshelf leaning up against the building like this. That would be fake. Just some other spots you'll sometimes see coming from Hunter Spawn. Again, this is the same common structure that we saw for the hay bales before, so just memorize that. Right, you'll also sometimes see over here, again, it's that same exact structure with the hay bales that we just saw. But again, 3 bookshelves in a row, that's fake. Right? Some other spots near hider spawn, right, include this melon stack. Many times you'll find hiders in this melon stack, so a melon in this slot, or a melon connecting it all together, it's fake. Right? Or a melon on top of the stack, that's fake. Right? You have this bookshelf stack. This is basically identical to the bookshelf stack we saw right next to that building, right? And so, pretty easy to memorize it, right? It's basically the same exact thing, right? Right, bookshelf literally touching the building, right? Or a bookshelf on top of the stack like that, it's fake. And lastly, we have a TNT stack right here, right? So again, 2 TNTs in a row. Pretty easy structure, so we're done. Done with the video.